You wound me up and sent me. You're like Charles Manson. Where he's like, I didn't do anything wrong, man. I just got everyone all fired up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
You're
done.
a monster. Mastermind of misery.
Hello, welcome to Guides to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are dipping back into the Wikipedia Urban Legends page.
Yes.
To keep going down their alphabetical list of urban legends and just kind of whatever they deem an urban legend to be.
An imperfect list.
Of course.
Doesn't make sense. Every time we do urban legends, and I should have checked to see when the last one at what time we did it. I like being able to say, like, go back to check this episode. I'll try to put a link in the show notes.
Sure.
Every time we cover what Wikipedia calls urban legends, I think about the vast future where, like, when we get to the end of their list, I want to cross-reference everything we've done versus what are classically considered urban legends from, like, a literary or academic standpoint and make sure we cover those as well.
Yeah.
I love urban legends so much. So I'm excited to cover these things, even if they're not technically urban legends at all. They're just bizarre stories that some people purport to be true, right? Sometimes they are true.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they're not true.
Totally. So we are in the F's now.
Yep.
Did you hit a G?
My stuff is all in the G's.
Okay.
If you can believe it. Yeah.
I hardly can.
We're going to wrap up the F's with you. F you.
F you.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is dropping around two very important events. Yesterday was Thanksgiving in the United States. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yep.
Hope that you're all resting today, a day of rest from gobbling up some food.
In real time, I will be working Black Friday at Barnes & Noble when this is coming out.
Ooh, that's going to be good.
I gave my 2 weeks notice of leaving Barnes & Noble, not in the nick of time to miss Black Friday. I will be leaving Barnes & Noble to work at a library instead, but I am just getting in there to work Black Friday.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. You're working Black Friday. Yeah. Hold on.
At least it's not first thing in the morning. I'm working 3 to 10.
Okay.
That's cold comfort, though. I think it's going to suck.
Do you remember when we first started Guide to the Unknown? This seems weird in retrospect that I was interested in this and was doing this.
Yes.
For like 2 years running, I would check the Black Friday Death Count website, blackfridaydeathcount.com.
Yeah.
And I never did it again because it's too morbid. I can't believe I ever did it.
I get it.
But now that you're working Black Friday.
Am I going to die?
Well, here, how about this? We'll do it this way.
Yeah.
What year is the last recorded death on Black Friday?
Oh, boy. I feel like Black Friday has become less and less of a crazy thing.
Well, remember, they say that on Black Friday, people are getting trampled and...
I know, but I don't know if the tramplings have happened. And, this is so crazy to even say. I feel like they haven't happened in like 10 years, maybe.
Okay.
So let's say, I'm going to make it 9. Let's say 2015 is the last death on Black Friday.
2015?
Yeah.
3 people died in 2021.
Oh my God. What the hell is wrong with everybody?
Well, listen, nobody's died in 3 years on Black Friday.
Well, okay, great. I guess I'll be bringing that toll back to 1.
Should I run a search?
There'll be 0 days without incident.
Should I run a search for Barnes & Noble?
Yeah.
Let's just see how safe you're going to be.
There's no way.
There have not been any... Oh, and no injuries either. They break this down into deaths or injuries. Okay. So no injuries since 2021 either. So it's been quite safe.
All right. Glad to hear it.
Okay. I think you're
not that the crowd at Barnes & Noble is such sophisticates that this couldn't happen, but...
I'm just saying, if need be, I think you could create something of a bottleneck in the children's section. Right? You hide behind the Elf on the Shelf toys. No, wait, those are high checkout items.
Wild.
Does it?
Yes, more than I expected. This has been a different job than I expected it to be.
It sure sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So yesterday's Thanksgiving, today's Black Friday as this episode drops. Good luck, Krissy. Tomorrow is Krissy's birthday.
Yes.
So happy birthday to Krissy.
Thank you.
November 30th.
Thank you very much. 41 years young.
Wow. Oh, that's wild.
Yep.
We didn't do, what's the over the hill age? Like it's Spencer
I think
Gifts.
like 40.
Is it 40? We
Yeah.
didn't do an over the hill party for you.
Yeah, damn it. Damn
Oh,
it.
shit.
Oh, well.
Well, I'm not going to start now.
Yeah.
But happy birthday to Krissy.
Thank you.
I'm thrilled to be doing the show with you. I love you and I appreciate you.
Me too. Same. Love you too.
All right. So without any further ado, although there's going to be one small bit of ado,
Ooh.
I think it's time to talk about some urban legends
Okay, great.
after this commercial break.
Okay. So I'm in the F's. That comes before G. So why don't I kick us off?
Yes.
All right. My first thing is frozen hill people.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of this before?
no. Is it? What was the thing that little brother told us about? The mythical little brother.
Right.
That was secretly Bobby.
Right. I don't know.
Remember it was oh God, it was that horrifying incident where a bunch of people froze to death.
The Dilatov Pass
Yes,
incident?
the
Okay.
Dilatov Pass incident.
Yeah. No, it's not that.
Okay.
This is something that is said to have taken place in Vermont in the late 1800s. And Wikipedia also subtitles this as Deep Frozen Old Folks, which is rude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what would you guess that this story is about? If you just had to take a stab, what do you think that this urban legend is?
Well, do you know The Simpsons? You know that one old guy who
grandpa?
Hans Moleman?
I can't picture him, but I know the name.
He's always getting like hit in the head and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure in one of the Simpsons video games you can go into the Quickie Mart and he's frozen like in the like the freezer section. Frozen old people.
Yeah.
I would have said, until you said that they're called frozen old people, I might have pivoted to say that it's like Yetis, like a family of Yetis.
Oh, okay.
But now that there's a version of it called frozen old people, is it sad?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess Vermont is a weird
It's
place
actually heartwarming.
too. Heartwarming.
Believe it or not.
Interesting.
In the end, it's heartwarming. It's sweet.
I don't know. Old people who live in the caves of Vermont at the top of some tall mountain like the Grinch. I don't know.
Nope, it's not that. Okay, so what I thought it was going to be about was people freezing to death and other people finding them that way or something.
Yeah.
Like preserved in a way that's disturbing.
Like the top of Mount Everest. You ever
Yes.
see those pictures?
Yes, I thought it was going to be something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that at all. What it's actually about is the legend that a family, and maybe this was a practice among multiple families, but the story of one family in particular, freezing their elderly and infirm for the winter in order to save money on food and resources, and then thawing them out in the spring when supplies were more plentiful.
What?
Yeah.
Does that work?
No. No, of course not.
I got a few folks we could freeze.
Oh, definitely.
Put them in the deep
I wouldn't.
chill.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. So this comes from a story published on the front page of a local newspaper called the Montpelier Times. Montpelier, I don't know. Times Argus in 1887, which was then republished 50 years later in 1938. And when it was republished, then it got like a lot of attention. And that's where it became like the urban legend that it kind of is today. It's kind of lost steam.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because
No
it's
one
like,
believes that you can really do this. This is the Walt Disney. Well, this is a real thing that people can be cryogenically frozen. That
they can't be reanimated though.
not yet,
Right.
but that's the theory, right? So like that might be sort of what fuels the urban legend, though, is the notion of freezing to later unthaw somebody. Why not say and couple that with the idea that animals do hibernate.
Yes.
In the winter,
Yeah.
like bears hibernate and they just basically shut down their systems for months at a time.
Yeah.
It's not outside the realm of fantastical possibility.
And also in the late 1800s where, I'm not
Well,
sure
they don't
where
know
they were at.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they knew that. So I guess
Can
it
you
was
talk
like,
smack on people from the past? Or is that not woke?
can I? Yes.
Yeah.
Should I? Maybe not.
I know. Once time travel becomes a thing, if time travelers come to the now and they're like, you've been talking shit about the late 1800s?
I heard you said we don't know dick. We
You
knew
said you don't know.
freeze.
I heard you say we don't know dick about shit. And that pisses me off.
And we're like, wow, you guys are actually more cool than we thought.
You speak differently from how I imagined you.
We have more in common than we don't.
Want a hacky sack, bro? Do I?
Perhaps we are more alike than different.
Kick that shit.
So here's the deal with the original story and where this came from. It was sent into the paper by somebody with the initials AM, who said that what he was writing was excerpted from his Uncle William's diary that he found. Perhaps one of your descendants, because we all share the same first name, and that's how you know a descendant of yourself.
You might mean ancestor.
That is what I mean.
Or unless I'm so old that I have descendants in the 1800s.
Well, hard to say.
Yeah.
Who came upon a family in the mountains of Vermont and saw 6 drugged people among a group of other young/healthier family members just laying on the floor. They're just drugged, incapacitated. Then the healthy family members took off all the clothes of those people that they were planning to freeze, except, quote, a single garment. I want to know what garment that was. Top or bottom?
I know what garment I hope it is.
That's all it said. Was it hat? Was it sock? Hopefully undie.
Gotta be undie.
I mean, it's definitely undie. And dragged them outside while the rest of them had a lovely night inside. And Uncle William felt disgusted by the whole thing. He was just like, what is going on here? What's the deal? But I'm guessing he was like a traveler. Because I feel like back in the day, somebody would be traveling and just stop at a random house for food for a night or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And this is just what he happened
I'll plow
upon.
your fields if you feed me a corn.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think it was that. So he was like weirded out by this, but a member of the family told him, like, don't worry about it. Come back in the spring if you want to see that they are all going to be quite alive and well, because we're gonna thaw these bitches out. It's no big deal. So he did come back in the spring, and he came back just in time to see them get the bodies out of these coffins that they had packed them in with straw. And then they had made these big bathtubs out of hemlock trees. So what I'm imagining is like a big like tree trunk that has now been dug into to create a trough. And they were filled with hot water and hemlock boughs to make a potion that he said gave it the color of wine. So just like this, you know, like a bath bomb of yore.
Okay. That's sort of the color of the goo they reanimated Austin Powers with. I'm just saying. I think his was maybe more pink.
I was about to say, I don't think that is true. I think it was more pink. I guess if the wine was a rosé.
Okay, yeah.
That could work. The bodies were then laid in these baths, and after about an hour, some color came back to the skin. The family then started rubbing at their skin, chafing it, the diary said, and the people started waking up. They started talking, they ate a hearty dinner, and actually they said they felt quite refreshed from their 4 months of rest.
I love this.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this. But
It's awesome.
Here's part of my question with no possible answer.
Sure.
Question that you must now theorize an answer to. If it's possible
Yes.
to deep freeze an old person so that they don't need to consume resources during the winter,
Right.
why aren't we all doing this to ourselves during the winter?
Well, that's a great question, first of all. And another question I have is that, like, if we are freezing the old and infirm, they're the weakest of us.
Yes.
I would think that they would have the hardest time coming back to life because they're already not at a 10.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be at your healthiest.
Oops, Grandpa slipped through the veil.
Yeah, exactly.
Between the living and dead.
Yeah, you're already closer to death. You're putting them even closer. They
Right.
are more at risk of dying.
True.
If you're going to save resources on anybody, because you can't even farm during the winter time. So what the hell does it matter if it's like the young husky boy or the old man?
Yeah.
Freeze the young husky boy who's strong because he's going to be able to make it through this freezing period and live.
Sorry, but as the young husky boy, young husky boy has a lot of shit jobs.
Yeah.
He's the one that's got to be keeping the furnaces in motion so that they don't completely freeze during the winter.
Yeah.
He's the one that's got to someone's got to unthaw.
So give him a break.
Everyone's got to unthaw.
Yeah.
You need somebody to come by and dig out the trough and fill it with wine.
Okay, great point. Yeah, the old people aren't going to be able to dig out the trough. And
You
fill it
need
with
at least
wine.
one. You need a Jack Torrance. Hopefully not a real Jack Torrance. You need someone healthier than Jack Torrance.
Yes.
To brave the cold winter, to stick around to do the revival.
Yeah, no, you're right. That makes total sense. But they're playing a dangerous game, freezing the old and sick people.
Yes, a most dangerous game. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. This is fascinating. Vermont, you say?
Vermont.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. So the rest of the story is great, too.
Oh, great. Okay.
So that was published in a newspaper in 1887, and didn't seem like there was like a really huge stink about it. It came out and people were like, okay. Then it was published again, like I said, in 1938, and people were like, what? What the hell is this? That happened back then? And then it got periodically republished over the years for a while, where people would be like, wait, is this true? Until we got to an age of technology where people knew it wasn't, and it wasn't that big a deal. So why didn't they freak out about this in 1887? Why weren't people who weren't from that area where that was, supposedly a common practice, like, wait, somebody's doing that somewhere? What's going on? This is because the town where it was originally published was a close-knit community, and they knew who A.M., the author of that story, was. It was Alan Morse, a local farmer and storyteller who would often tell versions of this fictional story at parties. Because a form of entertainment back then was yarning, or telling stories, and he was one of the best in the area. So everybody who's reading this newspaper is like, oh, that's Alan's fun story that he tells at family reunions and parties. Like, that's fun that it's in the newspaper. So in the 1950s, his grandchildren were interviewed about this and talked about how they had heard different versions of this story at parties over the years. And the way it ended up on the front page of the paper is that Alan's daughter, Alice May, worked as a typesetter at the paper and arranged for it to be printed there as a surprise for his birthday.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that really sweet? That's why I said it's heartwarming.
It is heartwarming.
And so, since a lot of people in the area knew about the story and knew it was fiction, they didn't flip out when they saw it. They're just like, oh, fun. But 50-ish years later, when reporter Bob Tuckman found an unsourced news clip, he found it highly unusual, didn't know the backstory to it, and reported on it. And then the story took on a life of its own, making it the urban legend that it became.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, urban legends don't usually have a definitive point of origin.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And pretty rare.
I know. Very
I love
fun.
that. Mm-hmm. I love it. I'm surprised. Yeah. You would think that. Yeah. You'd think that it would create a potential risk of other people trying to copy the trend.
Yeah.
Right. And you call it like, granny freezing.
Right.
Like when people were like planking at the top of a tall building.
Yeah, this is dangerous. This could have gone viral for the time.
This could have gone 1800s viral if people didn't realize that it was fiction.
Maybe they were like, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. It's time to freeze grandpa.
Yeah, because it gives essentially instructions. Yeah. It's like, make a potion of hemlock boughs and boiling water.
Poison grandpa.
Yeah.
Get him mostly nude, but leave one garment. We'll let you figure out which one.
Unspecified.
A sock.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't say where the sock goes.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. For grandpa, it's obvious. For grandma, not so obvious.
Mystery.
Betwixt the butt cheeks.
That's right. Well, now you've solved it. Mm-hmm. And then drag that granny out into the snow.
Wait till they freeze, then put them in a coffin with a bunch of straw.
Good God. Dig her up next year.
Them.
That's insane. I love that. That's wonderful.
I know. Delightful.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so the next F story is the Fresno Nightcrawler. Now, do you remember anything about this? Because I couldn't find it through clicking around, but you covered this.
I did?
Yes. Like, it must have been slightly in our California episode.
Okay. I could have done a better job writing some of the episode descriptions.
No, it's fine. Like,
for clarity of what's contained within them.
No, it's totally fine. We don't have to like name every single thing that we talk about in every episode description.
You know, I want to. I want to have like a whole document, a book.
It's fine, but I had in my mind, I think we've spoken about this. So I went to the website and I typed in Fresno and it came up as one of the sources. And then I searched my notes and it wasn't in mine. And so I think it must have been you. And I went through the episode. I couldn't find it. It was only one website source. So I think it was pretty brief.
Okay.
So it's episode 223, our episode about California, if anybody wants to go back. But here is the deal with the Fresno Nightcrawler. It's also known as the Fresno Alien, and our basis for knowing about its existence at all is that there is video footage of it.
Oh.
So that's fun. That's like the whole deal about this thing is that it's been caught on camera.
Cool.
So I watched a clip from a show I've never heard of before. It's Sci-Fi's Fact or Faked Paranormal Files.
Oh my God.
And they talked about it for like 2 seconds, which I was surprised.
Fact or faked? Is that like beyond belief, fact or fiction?
Not really. No, it seemed like it was like a team of people just watching clips that people had sent in and being like, I wonder what was happening here. And the clip I watched is in the show notes. It was on YouTube. For all I know, it was all sort of just like excerpted, but it seems like it just, I don't know, it didn't seem choppy. It seemed like they went from like Fresno Nightcrawler just to like other UFO thing to other thing. Okay. So they might just like review video clip to video clip to video clip. But they were looking at footage from 2007, and it looks like a white worm standing up and walking. And this thing is all legs for days. So it's just like this white thing standing up, and it set off a security camera, no arms, just walking with like mostly legs, and then just like little area up top where I guess you would say it's a head or something.
Really? So it's like legs with just a head at the top, basically? Mm-hmm. Like an octopus. If an octopus could walk on its...
I guess with just like 2 legs though. Okay. Just skinny.
Interesting.
So that camera was set up by, if you go to your Gmail, I sent you the sources. That camera was set up by a man named Jose who saw that footage, I think in close to real time, and woke up his brother to look at it too.
Okay.
They claim that there were small footprints outside, but by the time anybody came to check them out, the footprints had washed away. And also something that makes it a little bit tricky to look at is that the footage isn't original. It's a video recorded from a monitor. So the footage is grainy.
Yeah, I just pulled up and it's got like that green tinty.
So that's actually what you pulled up is from a different video because there are a few different sightings of this thing. That one that you pulled up is from Yosemite footage of the Fresno Nightcrawler. That's one where there are 2 creatures that look pretty much the same, though, basically, as the original video. Just these, like, 2 long white things. And I love the Yosemite video because they're walking down a path in this, park or something. And there are trees on either side, so it's, like, extra creepy and awesome. And then there have also been sightings in Montana and Poland, but I couldn't find the video footage for those. I just found kind of accounts of them. But it seems like the most famous pieces of footage are the ones from Fresno, California, and in Yosemite. But here is a question. Is this just a hoax? That's an obvious question. All of these things, that's something that is worth asking. Like, what is this? Did somebody just set this up and set up a camera to point at it? Probably, but it is an especially unique one. Like, it's not, it's a certainly unique looking cryptid or whatever it is. Like some people think it's a cryptid. Some people think it's an alien. And when I say cryptid, I mean some sort of actual biological earth dwelling animal that is just something that we haven't documented or understood.
Right. So there's a channel that I follow called Corridor Crew, and they have periodically done like, let's take a look at special effects, or they're special effects artists, so they'll like take a look at UFO footage, and say whether or not they think it's a special effect. They did this with Bigfoot as well.
Oh, that's
where
cool.
they're like, could it be a guy in a suit? If it could be, then it's probably a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
One of their points of like looking at a piece of footage and being like, could it be faked? Specifically with Bigfoot, they're like, if there was a real creature, a real like gigantic Sasquatchy thing, would it have exactly the same proportions as a human?
Yeah.
Like we all know that Bigfoot walks on 2 legs and has 2 arms in every drawing or whatever, but like the distance between your knee and your foot and your knee and your hip.
Yeah.
Like for humans, we can all be different heights and stuff, but it's typically a similar proportion. Think about the difference between a gorilla's knee and its foot.
Yeah.
Or a gorilla's knee and its hip.
It's quite little, I believe, between knee and foot, right?
I believe so, yes. So
they look funny.
Yes. So he's like, what are the odds that Bigfoot, this completely other kind of animal, still has basically the rough proportions of a human in like a monkey suit?
Right. Real quick, William. We're recording live for the first time in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Have you guys out there watched Chimp Crazy?
Oh, Kristen.
Whoa. If you had, because this aired while we were airing pre-recorded material, so I haven't gotten
leave. Yeah.
Right. I haven't gotten to talk to you all about that. If you haven't watched Chimp Crazy on Max, I implore you.
I wouldn't be against
what a
doing
documentary.
a bonus episode where we just talk about Jim Crazy.
I'd be happy to.
All right.
The twists and turns, really, what they did with that thing, I was shocked.
The chimp? That thing.
Just the production of it, I was whiplashed back and forth. So just that.
I could be convinced to do a whole show where we just talk about Chimp Crazy.
I wouldn't mind rewatching Chimp Crazy so that it was fresh in my mind to talk to you about.
Okay, why not?
I described all the episodes of Chimp Crazy to Will. He hasn't seen it, but I talked to him all about it.
No, I sort of enjoy hearing Kristen talk about it rather than looking at it. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So what I mean to say by being like, if you look at footage of Bigfoot and you can imagine where a human fits in the suit, I'm looking at this footage of the Fresno Nightcrawler. I don't see how this could possibly be a human in a suit. There are no proportions of a human on this thing at all. In fact, it's super skinny. I mistook this footage when I looked it up while you were talking about it as I thought that the thing on the screen was like a
tree or something?
Or a post or something.
I did too.
I was
when
like
first
waiting
looked at
for
it.
an animal to walk by.
Same.
It is as thin as a rail, but you can see it sort of
skinny
waddle.
as a needle, as Britney Spears once called herself.
Skinny as a needle.
Yes.
What a weird way to describe
Yeah, that's
anything.
why I remembered it.
But so like the Fresno Nightcrawler is like thin. That's not a person in a suit. If anything, it's a special effect, I guess, but not a person in a suit. What the hell is that?
What is that thing? That's the question. Well, I found a possible answer on Reddit.
Okay.
In the cryptids subreddit from 2 years ago, there's a post that somebody put up that says, someone may have just admitted to creating the Fresno Nightcrawlers. He's a filmmaker who lives in Oakhurst, about an hour north of me. I live in Fresno. One of my Facebook friends made a post asking about the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and he responded as such a few hours ago. Not sure what to make of it. And the post says, it has a comment from somebody whose name is Matt Sconce, who said, I may have had something to do with them, at least one of them. It started out as part of a fake or real challenge in a paranormal TV show that never happened with us. It got out and then swept through the entire world. I've never told anyone. Oh. And then he puts another comment that says, I will just drop this here. It's the original video that swept the world. I may or may not have created it. So then there are some more, there are comments that are just being like, whoa, I'm surprised, I'm not surprised, whatever. And then somebody else says, I'm from Oakhurst, and his dad, and then I found out that is misgendered. His parent is a trans woman. But so I am from Oakhurst, and his parent was my science teacher and also used to make up crazy stories about how she invented longboarding and other stuff everyone knew she was lying about. Seems to me the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree with trying to take credit for something that they didn't actually do, and I wouldn't take Matt Sconce's word for it. Now I'm just reading this. I have no idea about any of this. I'm reporting the news.
My father would lose. He would womanize. He would often make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark.
We're talking about Austin Powers more in this than I would have thought.
Yeah, baby.
So then...
Yeah, I invented longboarding. Who?
Isn't that an awesome
That was me.
I mean, somebody had to invent it, but, and then someone commented on that and said, it's a small world. My husband says that Matt Sconce and his friends used to always pull weird pranks in high school, though, so who knows? Maybe he did make up the Fresno Nightcrawlers, or maybe not. And then somebody commented and said, yeah, definitely lying on the longboarding claim, LOL. So I don't know. And then somebody says, I believe Matt is a small filmmaker, so I'm not surprised if he did make it. There was another update where somebody said he deleted his, it was the original poster said, update. He deleted his original comment on Facebook, claiming to have created the creatures, and posted a new comment that says, had to go dark again. If you know, you know.
Oh.
So, I don't know.
So
we may have an answer.
That's
Somebody
interesting.
has claimed responsibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it's awesome.
This doesn't ring even a bell. If I mentioned this, it might have just been
I think it was just in passing, because I tried to find it and I couldn't. So I think it was brief.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are saying maybe it was a puppet or something. The video that he linked to in that Facebook post, somebody reposted it in this Reddit thread, but even that has been pulled down.
Okay.
So there's nothing more than that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I love it.
Me too.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to continue by telling you about some of the urban legends that I have found. But before we do that, we want to make sure that all of you out there in Radio Land, Podcast Land, YouTube Land know that Guide to the Unknown is primarily supported by patreon.com/GTTUpod, which has really become the sort of like center brain unit of almost everything that we do.
Definitely.
So over on our Patreon, we've got posts going back years and years and years. If you back us starting at the Ghost tier, you get an ad-free version of this show every single week. So people who are listening to this episode today are not hearing me describe our Patreon. They're just moving on to the Urban Legends section. But we appreciate anything anybody can do.
Yes.
Just saying. But check out our Patreon. And also starting at that Ghost tier, you start to get access to the Netherworld Dispatch, which is a completely second podcast that we do. It comes out every single Monday. If you go up to that Demon tier that we've got, you'll get that show every single Monday. And over there, we're watching clips of weird paranormal shows. Our most recent episode was us watching a show called The Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd.
Yep. Yeah, it's a show where he just kind of like presents weird things that have happened to people, like meteorites falling through roofs, a granny in a bathtub who hung on for dear life during a tornado and made it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun and strange.
So strange.
Yeah.
But so we've been doing stuff like that for years. And the second that you sign up, not only do you get access going forward, every, ad-free Guide to the Unknown is going to hit you. Every Netherworld Dispatch is going to hit you depending on the tier you pick. But you're also going to unlock everything going back years.
Yep.
You unlock the full archives. And not only that, a wonderful entry point just into our community. We have a $1 tier called the Zombie tier. And that's even going to get you into our Discord, where you can start to really connect with other members of the Guide to the Unknown community. And we've got this Discord that's been growing, and this amazing group of people who are always chatting in like different chat rooms. And honestly, especially in these weird times, like kind of like leaning on each other or talking about what's going on in their lives. And
it's really nice.
It really is wonderful. Like Guide to the Unknown has become like a whole like culture, culture on the internet.
Sweet.
So go check that out. The entry point to all these things is patreon.com/GTTUpod. And a huge thank you to all the zombies, ghosts, banshees, and demons that we've got. Those are all of our tiers.
Yep.
Thank you all for keeping this little, this great experiment in motion.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I also love reading reviews every week, and so I've got a lovely one here titled Great Show, that comes to us from TEH1984.
Nice.
Who says, the topics are so much fun. Kristen and Will have great senses of humor. The extra episodes through being a Patreon member are well worth it.
Nice.
5 stars.
You.
And I swear I didn't juice these reviews. That's just the one that came next.
Yeah, great.
People keep shouting out the Patreon in the Apple Podcast reviews.
Thank you all for
which
doing
is wonderful.
That. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad people like it. It's great.
I know. It's quite frankly quite lucky and charmed.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to shout out something that we could really use everyone's help with. As many people have become aware, Twitter or X, whatever, is tanking. Most people have made the leap to Blue Sky, which is the new social media thing of the day, really.
Yep.
And so have we.
Yes.
At GTTU Pod on Blue Sky, that's where we're going to be posting things going forward, if you want to follow. I'm at The Myth Traveler on Blue Sky.
I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
So if you want to give us a follow, I'm going to have links to those in the show notes as well. I've got to update like all of our branding and stuff to squash the old ways.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to get like followers and create the community on like a new site. And I'm pretty hit or miss with social media. But if you're of a mind, I would love it if you would consider following us. We could really use the help to boost those numbers over there.
Yeah. And we're going to be deleting our Twitter account on Sunday, December 1st. So if you want to follow us on that kind of platform, definitely go follow us on Blue Sky, because our Twitter is going away because we hate Elon Musk.
Yeah. Hate you, Elon.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It's time. Quick shout out to Elon. I hate you. You're a piece of shit.
Elon.
You suck ass.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. All right, let's talk about some urban legends that I researched.
Yeah.
After this commercial break. I don't know why I slammed my iPad shut. Sorry.
Out of emphasis.
I guess so.
Hate you, Elon.
Although I had a thought too. I don't know if this is a thing, and maybe this is me being crazy. I say we delete everything that's on there so they can't train off of it, but leave one post that just points to our other places. Because that way somebody can't steal our username and post weird stuff either.
Right.
I don't know if that's a thing at all.
No, maybe. I don't know. Let's look into it, because I the way I did mine was I looked up like the right way, technically to delete Twitter so that like they can't do stuff.
Yeah.
So I went into my settings and removed all permissions for whatever and then deactivated it.
Oh, okay.
So I think we just do that.
Just do that?
You deactivate and you just don't touch it for 30 days and then it deletes it.
Right on.
But you have to go in your settings first and remove the permissions, because otherwise like it's still like living.
Use your shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have got a number of urban legends here, but some of them are things that we've talked about on the show before.
Oh, sweet.
So if you'll forgive me, I'm going to do some due diligence and point people in the direction of where we've talked about some of these topics in depth. Because alphabetically, the next one that I hit was the gateway to hell of Stull Cemetery. And our audience might be somewhat familiar with that because we talked about it way back in episode 42 of Guide to the Unknown. Just to put like at least a little bow on it here.
Totally.
It's said to be a gateway to hell in Kansas, where the stairs of an old demolished church open to the other side on Halloween, which is pretty cool.
Delicious.
Then next up was the Ghost Boy of Clinton Road, which we talked about in Guide to the Unknown 49. This is a New Jersey thing. I still would like to go there if we do another like round of ghost hunting or something.
Yeah.
But so the Ghost Boy of Clinton Road is an urban legend that describes a dead young boy who hangs out under a bridge and returns coins to you after you throw them in the water. Mm-hmm. And I think on that show we talked about, why do you throw a coin in the water, Kristen?
Make a wish.
So
you're not going to get your wish.
You're not getting your wish told.
That's not so nice. Your wish told?
Granted? Told? Tell me my wish.
Tell me my wish, boy.
Boy, tell me my wish. All right, well, here's a freshie. This one we've never covered because this is very, very contemporary. I am oddly charmed by this. It's fraught with peril and the dangers of the modern world.
Ooh.
But this is kind of incredible to me. This is the urban legend of the Ghost of Kyiv.
All right, cool.
All right. So it's an urban legend surrounding what?
I don't even want to say. It's so stupid. I don't know. Chicken Kiev is a dish. The ghost of
I smell the ghost of your chicken Kiev. Could you please go to the bathroom or something? I don't know. You don't usually go to the bathroom to fart, but would you please go away? I really smell the ghost of your chicken Kiev. Oh shit, way to undermine something that's actually like very like kind of incredible, remarkable with your shitty.
I didn't say it. You filled in the gap.
You wound me up and sent me, you're like Charles Manson, where he's like, I didn't do anything wrong, man. I just got everyone all fired up.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm
you're
done.
A monster. Mastermind of misery. All right.
Okay.
So, the Russian invasion in Ukraine. All right, I'm sorry. Is this... Oh, look at you. Kristen. Oh, canceled.
I'm fine.
Are you?
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, I'm
Not
right.
at all.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
2 years ago, Russia invaded Ukraine. Try not to laugh. That's a Norm Macdonald trick.
I know.
Right,
okay,
it's a nasty,
oh, God.
It's a dirty, rotten trick.
Oh, God.
All right,
okay.
All right. So, Russia invaded Ukraine. All right. It was the beginning of the invasion was February 2022. During the Kyiv offensive, which began the first day of the invasion, videos on social media began to widely circulate the idea of fighter jets in Ukraine, particularly one pilot who is said to have taken down multiple Russian jets all by himself. And he then became known as the Ghost of Kyiv, who was essentially avenging the Ukrainian people by taking down all these Russian jets just by himself.
Whoa.
So I thought the Ghost of Kyiv, when I saw this title, I was like very worried. Mm-hmm. I was worried that it was going to be very, very grim. Why do you still look like you're trying not to laugh? What is it?
Nothing.
What is it now?
It's just the same thing, and like not being able to laugh or something.
All right.
Okay. I think I'm done. I do.
No, that's all right.
I do. No. Keep going.
We're on Kristen's clock.
No,
everybody.
stop it. No, keep going.
Right.
Okay.
Try to control yourself.
I don't think I can. No, I think I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
So I actually find this to be really pretty cool.
No, it is cool.
Because I thought that the Ghost of Kyiv, I was really worried that we were going to get into something really gnarly and grisly.
Yes,
And listen,
I remember when we were looking at these. Yeah.
yes. And admittedly, this is a horrible thing that's still going on right now.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the Ghost of Kyiv, and I'm very worried I'm not pronouncing that name right.
I think
I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out that the Ghost of Kyiv, who nobody could really point to, like, who is this incredible fighter pilot? Because essentially, part of what was going on is that their country is being invaded. People who are like former military, retired military, they're all of a sudden jumping back into the battle and picking up arms to defend their country and defend all of their like loved ones and countrymen. And so no one knew who the Ghost of Kyiv could be. It could be some amazing pilot who was most active decades ago, who's now jumped back in and is protecting everybody. So I love this. All right. A photo was posted of like somebody in like full like fighter pilot. Like, you can't see their face. They've got like that visor on and that breath mask thing in a jet. And they're like, that's the Ghost of Kyiv. And then it turned out that that's not true. It was like a different pilot, but everybody was sort of, especially online, circulating what really had instantly become an urban legend of the Ghost of Kyiv, who's defending our country and taking down all these, like, I guess the point is that most people aren't taking down multiple Russian jets per person.
Right.
So it was a remarkable feat, essentially.
Yeah, kind of like Inhuman.
Yes. And that's why also that name, the Ghost of Kyiv, it like sounds superhuman.
Yeah.
Like as dopey as it is to say, the Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah.
That's like, that's the Kratos and the God of War games. It's like, the point is you're doing something that's so extra human, you must not be human.
Right.
Right? So it's not true at all.
Okay.
All right. But it was a deliberate story, which I also find fascinating. So only as of this year, in 2024, Ukraine Ground Forces spokesperson Ilya Yevlash admitted that the pilot is fictional and was created by his team after Ukrainian forces showed the repeated ability to take down Russian planes. So they were fighting back effectively.
Yeah.
But they were also aware that it seemed like the Ukrainian people could use a force of good to rally around.
Okay, that makes sense.
To drum up some of their like mojo to fight back.
Yeah.
And so the Ghost of Kyiv was really concocted as a story for people to go like, hell yeah, we've got like a champion that's fighting for us. We can fight back too.
Yeah, like a source of inspiration.
And not only that, it's because like evidently, and I don't know anything, everybody, but like the Russian attack is like also about disinformation and lies and stuff. And so the Ukrainian government, or at least this team, was like, we need a misinformation warrior to fight back and create our own mythos.
Interesting.
To combat. And I'm like, well, how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we do that here? We need a new Uncle Sam or something.
Yeah, seriously.
But so I don't know. I found that to be shockingly clever and
interesting.
And not I don't think heartwarming would be the right word, but sort of like impressive. Using storytelling to bring about a sort of hope or optimism in the face of something that's a goddamn nightmare that's continuing to this day.
Right.
So an anonymous Ukrainian military expert told the BBC that it helped, quote, raise morale at a time when people needed simple stories, which is what an urban legend is.
Yeah.
A simple story that can then get passed from person to person to person in the telling. They like appropriately.
There's usually some sort of lesson in there.
Yeah, they leveraged storytelling for a real actionable cause. I find that incredible. And the Air Force Command also warned people, in the same breath essentially, not to, quote, neglect the basic rules of information hygiene.
Interesting.
Check the sources of information before spreading it. So, the story of the Ghost of Kyiv was useful for them, but it also goes to show that, like, there are any number of things that we're told and shown.
Yeah.
Even them posting a picture of the Ghost of Kyiv, who turned out to be somebody from the team who invented the Ghost of Kyiv.
This is wacky stuff.
I think this is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, because this also reminds me, and, like, this isn't really typical Guide to the Unknown fare, but, like, that whole thing of like carrots make your vision better.
Right.
That goes back to the creation of radar for warfare. So when it was, and listen, I didn't research this, so I'm talking out of my ass a little bit, but I know the core of this is said to be true, at least. Let's say, for the sake of argument, during World War II, American fighter pilots were taking down, like, Nazis.
Yeah.
Far better than anyone would have ever expected. They're like, how the hell are they seeing us in the dark?
Yeah.
In the night. It's so dark, you can't see us.
It's because we eat so many carrots?
That was the propaganda. Our soldiers eat so many carrots, it improves their vision, so they have better night vision to find and obliterate the enemy.
Yeah.
But that was just a cover for the fact that we had new incredible technology of radar.
Really?
To let us see people in the dark.
I don't know if I've ever heard that.
You've never heard that before?
I don't know.
Now even that could be, listen, we're living in a whole new age of belief and misinformation. Who the hell knows what's true? I did not research that. Maybe someday we'll have to cover something like that.
That could I've never heard that before. That could 1,000,000% be true.
But this sort of like spiritual information warfare, like this is part of warfare.
Yeah.
It's not all the
totally
boots on the ground or getting into a tank or whatever. It's the message you're being told.
Yep.
And I think we're learning that fairly clearly over here.
Yeah.
We need a new whatever. We need a fictional champion maybe or something.
I guess
to fight
so.
back. Who knows?
What are Snap, Crackle, and Pop doing?
I know Pow. We
Right.
could re-enlist Pow.
He had a rocket or something, right?
Yeah, he's got a rocket up his ass. He's been doing jack shit for 60 years.
Yeah, maybe it's time.
We talked about gnomes recently, and there was a fourth Rice Krispies mascot named Pow who was quickly slaughtered.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that's the Ghost of Kyiv. And I find it to be pretty remarkable and relatively special, even if it's, what we do here is often deflating these things. This clearly was an important thing at an important time.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I cheapened it.
You really ruined it.
I really couldn't stop thinking about Chicken Kyiv for like the first half of that.
Yeah, I could tell your face.
I know.
You were about to explode the whole time.
Correct.
Disgusting. Enemy.
No.
Part of the problem.
No, I'm for the people.
Part of the problem.
No.
I found one. Everyone. A problem person. A problem person.
No.
All right, here's the last one that I think we're going to talk about in this episode.
Okay.
Now, I thought we had covered this, and I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
The Goatman.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
Now, okay. Do you have any recollection of the Goatman?
Not really. I basically know that there's the Goatman Bridge, and there's an episode of Ghost Adventures where they go to the Goatman Bridge and like chaos ensues.
Right. Yeah. The version
like Jay Wasley breaks his leg or something.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. Falls down another hill.
Yeah.
That was him, right? He got attacked by that.
Got attacked by a bobcat or stalked by a bobcat.
Cheetah. Yeah. He almost outran a cheetah, but in the last second it got him. Yeah. The legend of Jay Wasley. So we talked about a goat man. Evidently there are, because it's not even the one that you just described.
Right.
This is yet a third kind of goat man. These things are just, I guess, terrorizing the globe.
I suppose so.
We could just do a whole episode called The Goat Men. And we'd have enough to fill that episode.
Yeah, it's probably true. Actually, real quick, I just realized saying goat man is such a teeny weeny ad kind of thing.
You're thinking of Jim Brewer. Goat boy.
Oh, that's right. He's not a goat man. He's a goat boy.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick that Liz Sauer and I have been doing monthly episodes of a show called Dead Time at the $4 level of both of our Patreons, the Ghosts in the Burbs Patreon and the Guides to the Unknown Patreon. So we have 2 episodes out right now as you are listening. So go to patreon.com/GTTUpod and patreon.com/GhostsInTheBurbs to check those out. And that's it.
Yeah.
I thought of it because we talked about Ghost Adventures and I didn't mention it.
Oh, totally. No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I listened to I've not heard episode 2 yet. Episode 1 I loved. I know the people loved it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I think it's very clever that you've got a show now with Liz that lives on both the Patreons. It's like very equitably split. And
yeah. Whichever one you want to go to that.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll spend your money
like
for
that.
you. Yeah. All right. So the Goatman that we talked about previously, we talked about in episode 124 of Guide to the Unknown, which was called Animal Crossing Monsterville.
Yes.
We were populating our own Animal Crossing island full of human-animal hybrids.
Right.
So you told a creepypasta story called like the Anansi Goatman or something like that. This Goatman is a folklore legend describing a creature that's a goat-human hybrid, often credited with canine deaths, and evidently takes refuge in Beltsville, Maryland.
Okay.
Not far.
No.
Honestly, this could be the Blair Witch.
We could do a popover. And I do love a popover.
Oh, I love a popover. What's his name?
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Who's Poppin' Fresh? Isn't that a person?
Who is Poppin' Fresh?
We should cover mascots again.
Yeah.
We can talk about the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
We can talk about cereal mascots.
Yeah, they're like little creatures.
Oh my God, I can go back to MrBreakfast.com. This is an emergency. Are we doing this next week?
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing animal or cereal mascots.
Okay,
just
great.
Weird mascot creatures next
Great.
week. Anyway, sorry. I feel
at
like now
all.
I feel like I'm like high.
Me too. Poppin' Fresh.
Ever since the Ghost of your Chicken Kyiv joke, I feel like I've completely lost all
I
control.
know, I've lost the plot.
All right. So, some say that this story of the Goatman happened in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But some also say the 70s, which feels too soon. Too recent.
Well, it also just seems like such a spread. It was either the 30s or 40 years later.
Yeah.
We don't know which.
I know. Yeah, that's a huge spread. You're
Yeah.
right. So it literally, this Goatman of Maryland is said to be half man, half goat to the point that some say he has a human face with a body covered in hair. However, some just describe a completely hair-covered person with the lower body of a goat. Almost like,
So it's got the face of a human, but then the body of a goat?
yeah, well, wait a minute. No, I think it just
Like
means
a-
hair-covered humanoid body. But you're
Okay.
right. A goat
The
with
second
just a
one you
human
said
face is
sounds
pretty
like a
frightening.
goat with a human face. Or is it like a centaur, but instead of a horse, it's got a goat body?
If a pig stood up. No, I think can you picture the Goatman Pan?
Yes, I
Where he's
can.
got like from the waist down,
Yes.
from his like bathing suit area
Okay.
down his goat.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
I think that is said to be the Goatman
Okay.
a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's weird. You can hear him coming with that clip clop.
You certainly can.
So anyway, according to some versions of the legend, this is crazy. Okay. It's so specific and so stupid. According to some variations of the legend, Goatman is said to have once been a scientist, Dr. Stephen Fletcher.
What?
I know. It's like having a weird dream talking about this. Like it's hard to pin down what's going on. People see, to recap, people say that in Maryland in either the 30s or 70s, in the middle of the night, someone was killing dogs and wildlife and stuff.
And it was Dr. Stephen Fletcher.
It was Dr. Just arrest him.
I needed this recap, so thank you. It's Dr. Stephen Fletcher in his half goat form.
We know who it is and where he is.
But not whether it was
We
in
can't
the
tell which half of him is
1930s or the
goat.
70s or which half of him is goat.
Listen, he might have just had a messed up beard.
Yeah, right. At this
Called
rate,
the Goat Man.
we don't know anything about this guy
Well, listen. All right.
except his full name and that he has a doctorate.
Goatman is said to have once been assigned, which implies that once you become Goatman, that's all in the past. Am I a goat who dreamed of being a man?
or am I a man who's become goat?
The Goatman is said to have once been a scientist, Dr. Stephen Fletcher.
This is insane. It sounds like a comic book.
Well, yes, it does. Who worked in the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, or BARC.
Oh my
short.
God.
In this version, an experiment on goats backfires, and the scientist mutates into a half-man, half-goat creature who begins aggressively attacking cars in the vicinity of Beltsville, Maryland.
Because they're like the ultimate tin can. And goats love tin cans.
He was hungry.
Yeah.
I've become goat. I must feed. Bring me your biggest can. I once was a man. It does sound...
Wait, what is this? This is just the legend. This seriously sounds like a Marvel story. Dr. Stephen blah, blah, blah turned into this creature.
This is how Mr. Freeze was created.
Yeah.
When he was researching the cold, he became half cold man.
Yes.
This is how, who else? I feel like there's a man who in Spider-Man was studying eels and fell onto an eel or something.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Was studying eels and he fell onto an eel?
No, Electro, the the classic Jamie Foxx villain. Electro.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. You know what? Ryan was watching that a few weeks ago. He says something so sad. I can't remember what. He like turns into like Electro and then he's like, but I don't have any friends, or like something that was just like a really like simple, like sad line. And I was like, there's
a trend in some superhero
God.
movies that the supervillain used to be a disgusting nerd.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
Jim Carrey in Batman Forever
Yeah.
was like weird and like maladjusted and like
That's what Jamie Foxx is like in
nobody
that
liked
movie.
him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3 is like, he's like covered in pimples. And Iron Man says like, yeah, you can tell me about your paper. Meet me on the roof after midnight. And then they cut to Iron Man like partying at midnight and they smash cut to the roof and Guy Pearce is just alone. Like it starts raining on the roof and he's a nerd.
I don't like that.
It's terrible.
It's too sad.
Well, Dr. Stephen Fletcher was once the same until he got all the powers of a goat. Until he was imbued with all the powers of goat.
They can kick really hard.
They can. And you've seen their butts.
Oh, God, have I?
You've seen how they poop.
Yeah.
Quick
Talk
recap.
about power.
Kristen came to a hunt-a-killer, former employer, a party?
Yeah, it was like, let's just say party. I don't know.
Office get-together thing. And it took place on a farm. We spent all our time by the animals because I didn't want to be near my bosses. Until we saw a goat who we like kept talking to it and like trying to pet its head.
It's nice.
And then there was one who was facing away from us and it pooped.
And like,
yo, goats do it different, y'all.
yeah, they're doing their own thing. It was so weird. It just has like a giant butthole that just like accumulates a bunch of little poops and then expels them.
It looked like an airlock.
It looks like a gumball machine.
Yeah,
that,
it
like
does.
all the gumballs have accumulated in the bottom thing, and then you just open the door and they come out. It lifted
Horrible.
its tail, and there were all these poop gumballs that all came out. It was so crazy. Will and I like lost it.
I like froze. I needed an adult
It
or
was
something. I did not
shocking.
like seeing that.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
everybody.
that's what started going on with
That's what was
Dr.
going on with
Stephen.
Dr. Stephen Fletcher.
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible. Goat from the
No
waist
wonder he
down
started
is a
acting
nightmare.
out.
Yeah, I know. He was upset.
Yeah.
So another variation of the legend holds that the Goatman was an old hermit who lived in the woods and often
He
could
didn't
be seen
want
walking.
anybody to see what he has to do.
I must live alone.
Yeah.
Because of how I poop.
Yeah.
Now I can no longer be part of your human world. I can't hold a relationship like this. So, this old hermit was said to be walking alone down Fletcherville Road. Either way, Fletcher's involved. He's either Dr. Stephen Fletcher or he walked down Fletcherville
The story's
Road.
nuts.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, is that the road of his family? You know what I mean? Like back in the day,
Yeah.
like, oh, it's called Fletcherville Road because the Fletchers live here.
You know, since we're already completely chaotic at the end of this episode, can I tell you something stupid?
Yeah.
So we finally broke down. We watched Paw Patrol. We've been trying to avoid it. We tried to avoid it for years. Paw Patrol, the movie. We were like, well, what's this gonna be? Is this like pro?
Oh, like pro-cop propaganda?
Yeah, you know, propaganda. It turns out Paw Patrol, the movie, is like the Resistance. It is.
What do you mean?
There's an evil mayor, Mayor Humdinger,
Okay.
wins the election in a landslide because the other guy mysteriously drops out. And by the end of the movie, Paw Patrol has him arrested and removed from office. They interfere with an election. It's crazy. But the thing I wanted to tell you is that the mayor, Mayor Humdinger, is voiced by Ron Pardo. And I was wondering, is he like Don Pardo's son?
Yeah.
Like Don Pardo of It's Saturday Night Live. So I looked into Ron Pardo. On his IMDb in his trivia section, one of the top pieces of trivia is that Ron Pardo grew up in Pardoville in
What?
Canada.
It's like the same thing.
It's weird.
Fletcher lives on Fletcherville Road.
Yeah.
Don Pardo lived in Pardoville?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
It's like if I lived in Rogersville.
Yes. Yes.
It's bizarre.
I don't know what's happening.
Anyway, so according to the University of Maryland folklorist Barry Pearson, the Goatman legend began, quote, long, long ago, like Star Wars, and were further popularized in 1971 when the death of a dog was blamed on the Goatman by local residents. Pearson relates that bored teenagers kept the Goatman legend alive by repeating the story, suggesting that the creature attacks couples, frequenting the local Lover's Lane, subsequently stirring interest in sites like Fletchertown Road.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you get to like, this is like classic, like, you know, hook hand guy on Lover's Lane kind of idea. Like, babe, we better snuggle closer.
Yeah, the Goatman's out here.
I think I heard them plopping and hooves. The Goatman's nearby. Ugh. Yuck.
Totally ruining the mood.
Yeah. Let me tell you about how the Goatman pooped, babe. No.
No, let's go home.
I will walk home now. I'll take my chances with Dr. Stephen Fletcher, the Goatman.
Yes.
But also, I love this. It's said that around whatever time this was, 30s or 70s, who knows?
Yeah.
It was not uncommon, for one, law enforcement to receive calls reporting sightings of the Goatman, but most of them were pranks. No one pranks the police anymore.
Too risky.
I mean, unless
prank the police.
I know. Unless I'm not aware of it.
I don't think so.
I think I saw the Goatman. Look in the mirror.
I don't think so.
But also people would find graffiti all over the place that said Goatman was here.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
Just fun. This turned into admittedly dopey. I researched goats and became happy. What was the experiment on a goat you were doing that backfired and turned you into half goat?
How could that happen? Yeah.
Cloning?
I don't care.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like The Fly, right? Can I transport this goat over there?
Right.
And then you accidentally get into a pod with a goat.
Right.
And you come out the other side, half man, half goat.
I guess so. They were cloning sheep. Sheep and goats seem to be cousins.
Very good. Yeah. So they do seem to be. I don't know.
I don't know either. So I guess it's that.
I guess so too.
I wonder how sheep poop. I hope that's normal.
I hope to never find out.
Same.
But so that's the Goatman. And a smattering of urban legends, everybody.
Wonderful.
Because we like them.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And we hope you like them too.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening. Go check out patreon.com/GTTUpod to see all those bonus episodes of the Netherworld Dispatch. You can join our Discord. You can check out Dead Time and also see all the commentary tracks we have for movies like Scream, The Blair Witch Project, and Twilight.
Hell yeah. It's so much fun. The party ain't stopping anytime soon. Patreon.com/GTTUpod. And thank you so much to everybody who does back us.
Yes, thank you.
Follow us on Blue Sky, at Chillin' Kristen, at The Myth Traveler, at GTTUpod. Anything you can do to help boost those numbers.
Yeah.
I would greatly appreciate it. I'd like to pretend we have a following over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of this podcast itself. Well, whatever. So go follow us on Blue Sky, everybody.
What?
Well, I'm just saying, the numbers are like anemic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to get the numbers up. Our YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back next week, everybody, for something completely different. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld go we. Do you think Poppin' Fresh and the Pillsbury Doughboy are the same thing? Or are they two different entities?
I believe them to be the same entity.
Yeah.
Or one is like a dark, shadowy reflection of the other. The Pillsbury Doughboy is like running from Poppin' Fresh.
Yeah.
It's like Gizmo and the Gremlins.
Okay. I look forward to finding out.
I can't wait.